The aviation world is absolutely stunned. Just when everyone thought the story of the Boeing 747 was over, something incredible happened in 2025 that nobody saw coming. Boeing's new CEO Kelly Ortberg just made statements and decisions that have industry experts asking the impossible question: could the 747 actually be making a comeback? For over 2 years, the aviation industry accepted that the 747 era was finished. Production lines were shut down, tooling was being sold off, and airlines had moved on to more fuel-efficient aircraft. But a perfect storm of events in 2025 has created a situation nobody anticipated. From explosive political pressure involving President Trump and a luxury jet from Qatar, to a sudden surge in cargo demand, the evidence is mounting that something big might be brewing at Boeing. The signs are all there, and when you connect the dots, the implications are mind-blowing. On January 31, 2023, Boeing delivered the final 747 ever built to Atlas Air. Aircraft number 1574 marked the end of a 54-year production run. It was supposed to be the closing chapter of aviation's most iconic aircraft. The Boeing 747-8 freighter that rolled out of Everett was meant to be the last of its kind. Boeing had announced in 2020 that production would end when final orders were completed. The massive assembly line, where the first 747 was born in 1969, fell silent. Industry analysts called it inevitable. The four-engine giant was simply too expensive in an era where fuel efficiency ruled everything. Airlines had been retiring their 747 passenger fleets for years, choosing more economical twin-engine aircraft like the 787 and A350. Boeing itself accepted this reality. The company began dismantling production infrastructure, and suppliers started auctioning off 747 specific tooling. According to reports, Triumph Aerostructures actively began selling off their assembly line tools and fixtures. The message was clear: this wasn't a pause, this was the end. The Everett factory was being repurposed for other programs, including a new 737 production line. Everything pointed to the 747 becoming a museum piece that would slowly fade from the skies. But reports of the 747's death may have been greatly exaggerated. Enter Kelly Ortberg, appointed as Boeing's new CEO in August 2024. Unlike the finance-focused executives who had led Boeing recently, Ortberg came from an engineering background. With over 35 years in aerospace and a mechanical engineering degree, he understood aircraft from the ground up. From day one, Ortberg's approach was different. He moved to Seattle, putting himself close to where Boeing's aircraft are built. He's been spotted regularly on factory floors, talking directly to workers. As aerospace analyst Richard Abulafia noted, he's showing up. You show up, you talk to people. Ortberg spoke about turning the corner and getting Boeing back to its core mission. But he also said something that caught attention. Boeing's full competitiveness would only return when the company launches a new clean-sheet commercial aircraft. The question is, what kind of aircraft was he talking about? By early 2025, Ortberg was showing results. Boeing's stock had risen more than 30% under his leadership, according to CNBC reports. Production was stabilizing, and the company was generating positive cash flow for the first time in years. But then came the events that would force Ortberg to consider options that seemed unthinkable months earlier. The bombshell came from President Trump and a luxury Boeing 747-8 belonging to Qatar's royal family. In early 2025, Trump became frustrated with Boeing's delays in delivering new Air Force One aircraft. The two modified 747-8 South were delayed until 2027 or later. Qatar offered the United States a luxury Boeing 747-8 valued at $400 million. As a temporary solution, the political firestorm was immediate, but for Ortberg, this created entirely new pressure. Suddenly, the 747 was at the center of a major political controversy involving the president. The situation got more complex when Elon Musk got involved. As reported by Fortune, Ortberg said Musk was helping us a lot and could pretty quickly ascertain the difference. between technical requirements and things that we can move out of the way. Think about this. The most powerful people in government were suddenly very interested in Boeing's ability to produce 747 aircraft. The pressure wasn't just commercial anymore. It was political and strategic. During congressional hearings in April 2025, Ortberg faced direct questions about Boeing's capability to meet government demands for large aircraft. This wasn't just about one presidential aircraft. It was about Boeing's credibility as America's flagship aerospace manufacturer. While political drama unfolded in Washington, something equally significant was happening commercially. The global cargo market was experiencing explosive growth, and airlines were desperately seeking large freighter aircraft. The numbers are staggering. According to company announcements, Emirates Sky Cargo increased its main deck cargo capacity by 15% in January 2025 by wet leasing to additional Boeing 747-400 freighters to meet surging global demand. This wasn't just Emirates. One Air, a British cargo airline, added a third Boeing 747-400 freighter in 2025 specifically for strong demand for cargo capacity. In Asia and Europe, the aircraft was secured on a 5-year lease, indicating this wasn't seen as temporary. Industry publications began using remarkable language. An article from May 2025 was titled Boeing 747, The Second Coming, describing a cargo-fueled resurgence of the supposedly dead aircraft. Boeing's own projections show the global air cargo fleet needs to grow 60% over the next 2 decades. That's nearly 2,800 new and converted freighters needed by 2041. About 40 new cargo operators have entered the market in just 2 years, many seeking large-capacity aircraft. Here's the crucial point. While Boeing and Airbus are developing new freighters, these won't be available for years. The 777X freighter isn't expected until 2027. Airlines need capacity now, not in 5 years. Companies are paying premium prices for used 747 freighters. It's basic supply and demand, and the supply of large freighter aircraft is extremely limited. So where does this leave Ortberg? Caught between contradictory pressures forcing impossible decisions, Ortberg has emphasized Boeing's focus on stabilizing existing programs and developing clean-sheet aircraft. But look carefully at his statements, and you'll notice something interesting. When asked about aircraft strategy, he consistently mentions being responsive to market demands and not leaving any options off the table. More tellingly, Boeing has quietly preserved capabilities essential for any potential 747 restart. The Everett factory remains operational and configured for large aircraft assembly. While specific tooling was sold, fundamental infrastructure remains intact. Industry observers note Boeing has been reluctant to completely dismantle the 747 supply chain. Key suppliers maintain relationships with Boeing, and engineering teams that worked on the 747-8 are still with the company. When pressed about large aircraft demand in congressional hearings, Ortberg has given carefully worded responses that neither confirm nor deny future possibilities. He's acknowledged the importance of maintaining American manufacturing capabilities for strategic aircraft. Most significantly, Ortberg has avoided saying the 747 program is permanently closed. While production stopped, Boeing has never officially said production could never restart under any circumstances. The combination of political pressure, market demand, and available capacity creates a scenario Ortberg cannot ignore. Whether he wants to or not, the possibility of some form of 747 comeback is now on the table. So what does this mean? Are we looking at a potential Boeing 747 comeback? Nobody knows for certain, not even Ortberg himself. But the confluence of factors creates a scenario that would have been impossible to imagine 2 years ago. You have explosive cargo demand that existing aircraft cannot meet. You have direct political pressure from the highest government levels. You have a CEO with the engineering background to potentially pull off a program restart. And you have the fundamental infrastructure still in place. Would it be the same 747? Almost certainly not. Any restart would involve significant modifications, updated systems, and possibly new engines. It would be expensive and technically challenging, but for the first time since production ended, it's not completely impossible. What we're seeing in 2025 might not be a full production restart, but it could be the beginning of something. Perhaps a limited run of specially configured freighters. Perhaps a government-sponsored program for strategic airlift capability. The Boeing 747 has always been more than just an airplane. It's been a symbol of American aerospace capability. In an era where that leadership is being challenged, the political arguments for maintaining 747 capability become much stronger. Kelly Ortberg finds himself in a unique position. He has the opportunity to write a new chapter in aviation's greatest stories. Whether he takes that opportunity depends on factors that go far beyond simple business calculations. One thing is certain, the Queen of the Skies refuses to go quietly into retirement. And as long as there's demand for her unique capabilities, the possibility of her return will continue to capture imaginations worldwide. What do you think? Are we witnessing the beginning of an impossible comeback or just the final gasps of a fading legend? The answer may depend on decisions being made right now in Boeing's executive offices and in the halls of power in Washington. Don't forget to subscribe for more aviation industry insights and breaking news.